Okay. So I am really excited to be here. I have not seen you guys since at least August 12th, or no, March 12th. Um, did I have any of you that Thursday before this all went down? Or did I have you guys on the Wednesday? Anyways, it's been too long. So it feels very good to have you guys back in class. I'm not sure how you feel about being back in school. I'm assuming since you're here, you guys are okay with being here. I think that us being in person is really important. I'm the connection with students is I think is beyond important. So I'm just super. I'm just as excited as you are. I hope that things will go okay and that we can keep doing this as much as possible. If we go full remote, we go full remote, and I will do my very best to help you guys. But it's just, and you guys, most of you I already know, so I already kind of have a relationship with you. But I'm worried about like some of my other classes. If I don't get to build those relationships, it's just tough. You know, my guess is some of you that had me in class, I could have probably asked you to do just about anything, and you would have done it. And why? Were you afraid of me? Nope. It's probably because you had a relationship and you're like, you know what? I don't want to let Mr. Allen down. I'm going to do that. Okay. Even though I don't want to do his stupid homework, but I don't want Mr. Allen to be disappointed. So, anyways, enough of that. What I'm doing is I've got you guys situated. So today, unfortunately, you're kind of sitting where there was no way for me to make it to where no one shared a seat today. But what will happen is, guess where everyone will sit tomorrow? The empty desks. So that means your desk, the next time someone will be sitting in your desk, will be Monday. And then the next time after that will be Thursday. So that desk, now granted multiple people are sitting in it each day, it's going to get a day of break or whatever. So I don't know. That's just my idea. Here's kind of the agenda. So you guys have already successfully completed item number 1. And I think we will definitely get to this. We got to it last period without any trouble. I actually had another activity that I had planned before they switched to the block scheduling that we were going to do, but so I wasted a bunch of time on that. So we'll probably play 24 at the end of the class. Okay, but anyways, we need to go through an intro, and you guys already know me. At least most of you do. Those of you that don't know me, you got to sit through my 5-minute spiel about myself. Okay. Are the lights okay in here? Can you guys see this? Okay.
Excuse the interruption. This is a reminder that this period is the ADM count. So teachers, you were sent a Google form from me yesterday afternoon, and then I just resent it last period. You are counting warm bodies. So you're looking in your room.
You guys all warm?
And you're counting the number of people in your room, and then you're putting those numbers by grade level on the form. Tomorrow we will deal with the virtual students and the students that attend on Friday. So today is the easy warm body count by grade level. If you have any questions, you can call me at 4461 or email me. Thank you.
Okay. So my name is Chris Allen. My professional background, I student taught here in 1997 under a guy by the name of Kelly Clore. He was the second math department chairman here. No, actually, he was the first, and then Steve Taylor, and then I'm the third. But there were no openings. So when I graduated, I got my first job at Southport Middle School. I taught there for 4 years, and I also coached football. And then in the year 2000, my son was born. He's 20 now. His name's Alec. And so I stepped out of coaching at that time. And then I actually came over here in 2001. So this is actually going to be my 20th year of teaching at Perry Marion High School, which is a lot of years. It's kind of mind-blowing, actually. Anyways, this year I'm teaching Calc AB. I've got 2 sections of that. I'm teaching Calc BC. You guys are the only section of that. And I'm teaching geometry, which I haven't taught in quite a while, but it's actually one of my favorite classes to teach. Oh, actually, let me go back to this real quick if it'll let me go back. Those of you that have me already know. Those of you that don't have not had me, do you know what that is? Mm-hmm. That is the coveted gold brick.
Where is it?
It's on the desk. It's right there. So if you do something really impressive in here, typically it's math related. I think there's been times I've given the gold brick for other things, but typically if you do something impressive or you do really well on an assessment or something like that, you might get the gold brick. and I try to take great care in figuring out who's got it and who hasn't got it. If you're in here and you've had me and you've never had the gold brick, I want to apologize to you because you're like going, oh, I always wanted the gold brick and I never got it. Anyways. Okay, so my roles here, I teach math. I am the math department chair. So not only am I responsible for classes, I'm also responsible for all the math teachers. So I do things like textbooks, subs, and all this other stuff. I'm also the webmaster, which sounds kind of impressive, but it's really not too impressive because I have very little control on what goes on our website. However, if you see something on the website that you think's out of whack or out of date, if you want to let me know, I'd appreciate that. Okay, so a little personal information. So I am married and I have 3 kids. So that's my son Alec, who was born in 2000, and then that's my wife Meg, and then that's my daughter Amaya. She just graduated from Greenwood High School this year, and they actually had a commencement on the football field. That was kind of cool. And then those of you that have me, you know that I was out last December when Henry was born. Henry is now 7 months old, which again, it just seems like where's that time gone? He is crawling now, and he's getting into everything. But he's got hair, which is kind of when he was first born, it's like he kind of looks like me, and now as his hair is getting thicker and thicker, it's like okay, maybe not so much. I graduated from Southport High School. Please don't hold that against me. I got my Bachelor of Science in Math from Purdue University. And then I just recently, just this last May, I graduated with my master's degree in math from Purdue. So I'm pretty proud about that. Those of you that have had me, you already know this. But if you've not had me, let's see if that works. I am a bodybuilder. The one thing that people will say that always hurts, it's like someone's taking a knife and just sticking it in my back. They'll say, I heard you used to be a bodybuilder. It's kind of like, anyways. So that was from 2018. My very first contest was in 1990 when I graduated from high school. I was 18 years old. That contest was in 2018. I won the Mr. Natural Indiana, and I'm hoping to compete next year because next year I actually turn 50, if you can believe that. I'll be 50 years old next year. All right, I think that's it. That's about me. So you know a little bit about me. So let's go ahead. I'm trying to think about how do I get out of that right there. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and get our Chromebooks going. All right. Calc BC. So it should look like this once you get in there. You may have already looked at it. I used it last year. I didn't use it probably as efficiently as I should have, so I've been working on that. You may have some teachers this year that this is the very first time they've ever used Canvas. They may have even expressed that to you, that they're a little overwhelmed. I helped a teacher yesterday for almost an hour just showing them how to make a video and posting it on YouTube. So there's a lot of variety in terms of where teachers are at with some of this technology stuff. And I'll be honest, I'm still learning some of this. So if you see something on here and you're like, Mr. Allen, I don't have access to this. Like right now, I know there's stuff that you don't have access to. And I just figured it out today that I got it. So I'm going to screw some stuff up. Just if you would politely send me an email, hey, Mr. Allen, I think you need to fix this. We'll get to that in a minute, though. So let's go to the syllabus page. So you are probably interested in what the grade is going to be. Now, if you've had me before, you kind of already know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to go through some things just in case you have not had me. The number one most important thing for you and your family to know in terms of how do I get information about Mr. Allen's class is you need to go to Canvas. Tell your parents if they want, they can, what do they call it? Observe. I think they can observe my class. Let them know if they want to see what's going on. That's fine with me. Canvas is where I'm going to try to post all my information to the best of my ability, particularly if we go remote. Hello. Okay. Where was that? Oh, yeah. So there's my email address. That's probably the best way for you to get in contact with me or for your parents to get in contact with me. I made a little note here about if you send me an email after 3:30, please be mindful that I may not get to it until the next day because I do have a family and stuff like that. Parent Squared. How many of you saw my message on Parent Squared? So I sent that out yesterday. I don't really care that you saw it. I sent it out to all of my students and their parents that are hooked up to Parent Squared. The point of that was just, hey, here's my face. Here's kind of what to expect, and here's how students are going to get information. I'm not going to use Parent Squared all the time, and I would prefer people not trying to communicate through Parent Squared. Oh, and I misspelled Parent Squared. I should probably fix that. I'm not going to use it all the time, but I'm going to use it for like big general stuff like that. So let's fix Parent Square. There we go. So that's nice. Update. Okay, good. And then there's my phone number. I like the word antiquated. I think most people don't call anymore, but if a parent wants to call me or something, they can. We'll talk more about Wabbit later. Okay, so now here's what you really want to know. Here's the good news. Most of this semester is going to be all review. Once we get to about, and I'll have to check I've already got it broken down. When we get to chapter 7, that will be all new stuff. And it's chapter 7 is just on integration techniques, more advanced integration techniques that we have not learned, that you have not learned. Okay? So basically this semester, if you want to think about it that way, other than me teaching you some interesting, more challenging, if you will, integration techniques, it's all review. There's a couple of things I'm going to have to teach you that were not in the AB curriculum, like I don't think I taught you Euler's method. Do you guys know Euler's method? Okay, so I'm going to teach you Euler's method. Things like this. There's a couple of things, and I'll let you know when it's new stuff, but almost like the lesson you're getting for next week is review. There's nothing new. So you should feel good about that. However, this is going to be your opportunity to actually review some of those things if you were struggling. And I'm just going to let you know right now, what chapter did I skip? Well, chapter 1's not in there at all. And I even made I think I made it. Oh, maybe I did. I'm really not going to even do chapter 2. Chapter 2 is basic differentiation. Guess when we're going to review that? While we're doing chapter 3. So we're going to start actually, when you look at the modules, you'll see that your assignment's on chapter 3. So I'm going to integrate basic differentiation rules into chapter 3. Like, for example, guys, what's the derivative of sine? Okay, wow. We don't need to do a lesson on that, right? Now, it might be fun to do a lesson where I actually show you why that's true, because last year I just told you that, and I'd be glad to show you that. It's interesting. But I just don't think we have time for that. This right here, that chapter 8, is no joke. I spent over 2 months on it last year, and they still felt like they could use more time. Infinite series and sequences. It is heavy duty, and that's when we get to that, that's when some of you are going to be like, whoa. I'm going to show you some things that will blow your mind. Like I'm going to show you a polynomial that represents the sine function. I want you to think about that for a second. A polynomial, all x's to powers divided by a number maybe or something like that, that is equivalent to sine. In other words, it's a polynomial. Anyways, we'll talk more about that next semester. Next semester is going to be fun. It's going to be challenging because there's a lot to know here, but it's really, we're going to take all of this stuff and we're going to learn about these things called infinite series. So your level of understanding of mathematics, last year it bumped up a lot, didn't it? It's going to bump up this year. And the good news is we review all this stuff. If you struggle with some of those concepts, I think you're going to find this year, okay, it's going to start sinking in a little bit better and all that good stuff. Okay? And you've got to speak up. Okay, and I'm just going to talk to Sam here. If Sam's struggling with the chain rule, hey, Mr. Allen, I know we're not going to go over chain rule. Can you help me a little bit? Of course I can. Of course I can. So please don't be like, oh, I don't want to say, I don't know. Just send me a message privately. Mr. Allen, can you help me with chain? I'd love to. Okay, can you show me why the derivative of sine is? Yes, I can. I'd love to. Okay, anyways, moving on. If you want the detailed, here, let's go to that. This is what I had to submit to the College Board. Oh, there it is. Here's the syllabus I gave to the College Board if you want to see more details. That's all the stuff we're on. And, you know, the other interesting thing is it used to be when you were in high school and you took either Calc AB or Calc BC, it was or. You didn't take out Calc AB and then Calc BC. It wasn't and, it was or. You just took, if you were a senior, you took Calc BC or you took Calc AB. Calc BC, you would skip limits completely and just do the harder stuff. It was kind of the, but you guys have a whole year of calculus under your belts. We're going to build on that. Guys, are we going to have any student issues? I don't think so. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I had a student issue. Let me mention phones. How many of you have a phone on you? I have a phone on me too. I don't really care. As long as you're not out on it all the time during class, I don't really care. You could even have it setting on your, is that a phone back there, Andrew? I don't even care if it's sitting on your desk. What would be an exception to that, though? Let's say we're having a test. Well, then I probably don't want your phone out. But other than that, if you got your phone, that's fine. Now, if I'm trying to teach you guys stuff and you're just on your phone all the time, we might have to have a conversation. Do I need to say anything else about phones? Okay. I'm not a phone Nazi. I know some teachers are like really hardcore. Put that phone away. I don't really care. Grades. Here's grades. Classwork and activities. Ooh. Okay. So this board, you actually don't have to touch it, and it can kind of sense when you get close. Like I'm not touching it. Anyways. 10% for classwork, 15% for homework, 25% for quizzes, and 50% for tests. You guys maybe that didn't have, did Mr. Brewington do any fax quizzes?
I don't think so.
Okay. So let's just be real. If we go remote, does a fax quiz make sense? How in the world am I going to, like, honestly, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to even assess you properly if it's remote. If we don't go remote, which is my hope, if you guys are in my class, I will probably do fax quizzes. Now, what am I going to do with the kids that are remote, virtual? I don't know. I'm not even going to worry about these right now because I feel like we got a lot of other things to worry about. My guess is they may not happen. I do think, now I want you guys, if you can think back to when you're, well, I guess you guys took the exam at home. Was it stressful?
Yes.
Did you feel like you had to look up more than you wanted to?
Yes.
Now imagine taking that exam with no resources. That's the way it should have been, but that's not the way that it went. So I'm going to pretend that somehow miraculously next year, next May, you're going to be sitting in a room taking a test without notes and things like that. So I'm going to try to prepare you the best I can for that. I don't know what the rest of this semester is going to look like, let alone next year, but we'll see where we go. I'm going to try to teach you some things that hopefully will help you do well. And then there's stuff like tests. Final exam is supposed to be 15%. They've been talking about 20%. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Digital textbook, we'll talk about that in a second. We had an issue with that last period that I'm working on. If we go to remote, I'm basically just telling you right there that I'm going to be more lenient, and I'm going to pick on Briley. So let's say we go full remote. It's October. Briley's like, Mr. Allen, I am so sick. I cannot do any work for the next 3 days. By the way, even if we were here, am I going to make Briley get his work done? Or am I going to give him a little bit of leniency? I'm going to give him some leniency. So I'm just telling you, if we go full remote, I'm going to try to be like as lenient as I can. Now, it's not going to be like last spring where it's like, oh, you can do absolutely nothing and you still get your grade. That is not going to happen. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. Grading scale is here. If you need some help, here's some options. Advisory, or AKA Blue 63, stay after school, office hours, Rose Holman, homework outline, khanacademy.org, CalcChat, How many of you guys are familiar with CalcChat, CalcView? Okay, great. Those are just things to help you. And then, of course, YouTube and Google. Okay, so Check. Okay, let's get on to our online textbook. Okay, so here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to webassign.net or I think it's .net. Yeah. I think if you put webassign.com, I think that works too. Okay, and then once you get here, stop. Don't do anything. Don't log in. Okay. All right. So if you go to the modules again and go, okay, do you guys, so here's the thing I learned this last period. If you go to modules, it probably says you have access to nothing. Is that correct? Okay, so I've got to learn how to do this better. I'm going to check that one and that one. So you should be able to see both those things now. Let's not worry about this one right now. Let's worry about this up here. Click the second one, which is WebAssign Class Key. I thought I clicked it. There it goes. You will use this right here, perry.in 50776830 as your class key. Okay? If you want to copy and paste that right now or copy it, I think you should be able to do it. But over here on WebAssign, you're going to click Enter Class Key. Enroll with Class Key. So here's where you're going to put the perry.in and then the 50 whatever it was, and then so go ahead and do that. And then once you get where it's basically telling you, hey, you're going to enroll in Mr. Allen's class, if you already remember your WebAssign login, you should, I think, be able to just use your normal login. Was anyone able to do that? If you have not used WebAssign before, like if you were Mr. Brewerton's class, you'll need to set up an account. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that now. I'm going to pause this. All right, so I ran into this issue last period, and I don't know if we're going to have the same issue, but I think that we will. This is how I want you to get to your textbook so that you can look at it. When you click here, now when I click here, it works. When you click there, does it work? Said access restricted for almost all the students last period.
Yeah.
Now here's my question. Some of you guys may be more tech savvy than me. Would you say, since it works fine for me right now on my desktop computer, would you say that's probably the township has it locked down for students?
Did you try to go to my ebooks?
I did not.
That's how I got it. That's how I got it too every single time last
Okay, so
year.
let me try that.
Scroll up. Go my ebooks in the top. On that blue bar. Yeah, my ebooks. And then
Can you guys try that? Okay, so it's still not working? Okay. So my guess is that they've got it, and I even had a student that tried to get off the Wi-Fi and they weren't able to access it. I don't know what the issue is, but obviously that's a problem. So we'll work on that. If any of you figure out a way to get that to work, let me know. I've already contacted the help desk. I actually called them on the phone during class, and then I sent them an email with a screenshot. I had students send me a screenshot. You should be able to access this. This is how I want you guys to be able to get to the textbook. It's the easiest way. All right, let's go back here, though, to your modules, which I think should be unlocked now, right? So you should see module week 1, August 10. So that's next week. You have until next Friday night, and I think it's 9 or 10 or something like that, to get this done. So you have over, well, I don't know, what is that, 8 days? Over a week and a day. I guess you guys don't need to see the plan. That's not interesting to you. That's my lesson plan. We have to do that for this. Anyways, I've made a video. In fact, let me just click on it. And it's only one video for 2 lessons. So unfortunately, guess what? It's 21 minutes. You may not even need to look at it. You might be like, Mr. Allen, I already know how to figure out if a function's increasing and decreasing. I understand concavity. I understand blah, blah, blah. I could teach a course on that. Then don't watch it. I don't care, honestly, if you watch the video. I mean, I hope someone watches it because I made it, right? Plus, you get to see me in my kitchen. Anyways, if you want the notes, so here are the notes that I went over in that video. Hopefully, they'll pop up. So here's all the notes, and there it's, I don't know how many pages it is. It's a lot. I went over all kinds of stuff. Increasing, decreasing, critical numbers, first derivative test, concavity, points of inflection, second derivative test. All this stuff is nothing new to you. It's all review. But it involves some work, right? So anyways, I did that there. So that's what you'll be reviewing there. And then what time do we get out of here? Okay, good. We got time. Then here it says extra video. Do you have to watch that? It's extra. So if you're like, well, Mr. Allen, I watched your 20-minute video and it's not very good. Because I honestly, some of the problems, I don't even finish them. I get to a point where I'm like, okay, we're good. We're moving on. Because I'm trying to not make ideally, I would have liked to have made this 2 separate videos and made them about 10 minutes each. But I just decided to do it together. Anyways, here's another extra video. Don't have to watch it. Now, you might want to watch it. Maybe you're like, yeah, Mr. Allen, I still don't understand points of inflection. Okay, fine, go there. Extra practice problems. Do you have to do those? They're extra. If you want to do them, there they are. I'm giving you some options. Do you have to do WebAssign? Yes. That's going to be your homework grade. Okay? So you're going to go to WebAssign. You got to get at least 85% of the points to get a full score. It keeps track as you're going through it. And did anyone look at the WebAssign assignment yet? How many problems is it? I don't think it's over 15. I think it's like 10 or 12 or something.
11.
It's 11 problems, okay? 11 problems. I think that's very reasonable to get things going, okay? Now, keep in mind, just because there's only 11 problems doesn't mean you're going to get done in 11 minutes. It might take you some time. Try not to get too frustrated. Don't just start guessing because then it'll lock you out and then you're not going to get all your points, okay? If you I think Midori, there was one, wasn't there one last year that she put the right answer and it wouldn't take it? Just let me know. I'm not like one of these guys that oh, sorry. It doesn't matter that you got the right answer. Just let me know. I'm pretty reasonable. So I do want you to do that. And then this very last thing, this exit ticket, please do that. I'll probably put that as an in-class grade or something like that. I may not grade it this time. But basically what it is 2 simple questions. This is like a formative assessment. Rate the level of comfort with the lesson. Got this. I didn't do it. Or somewhere in the middle. Tell me what you might need more help with. Oh, I still don't get how you use the second derivative test. Fine. And then what could I do to make the lesson more effective? And guys, look, I know that my little modules here, compared to maybe some other teacher, maybe that's not very good. It took me a lot of time. It took me a lot of time. And I'm not saying that for you to be like, oh, thank you, Mr. Elm. We're so grateful. No, that's not what my point is. This takes a lot of effort on my part. And I don't care how much of this stuff you do. I need you to do this. But if there's things that you think I should do differently, let me know. Mr. Allen, can you make the video shorter? Mr. Allen, can you make the video longer? Mr. Allen, can you? Okay, so give me feedback, or Mr. Allen, I don't know what you need to do. It's fine. Okay? And then up here, I've got the stuff for WebAssign. I'm actually recording this. I'm going to